hey Carlos, I'm trying all these things and I'm working hard and I'm reading books and I'm trying to be an entrepreneur, but this stuff is just like it's just overwhelming. I'm really seeing no success. I'm trying to figure different things out, and I just don't know what to do. Hey guys, that guy right there was me probably like 3 years ago. It's funny how it was actually when I first started out. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur and kind of make my own way. I was still working my job, and I was doing in between my job I was doing mobile apps. I was selling mobile apps to businesses, and I remember just going in my car, changing my clothes, and going to all these small little stores, trying to sell mobile apps back when they were, when everything was the apps and stuff was starting out, and then I would come home, and I was doing also a little bit of real estate on the side. I was trying to find leads, trying to find properties. I was actually learning all like the inner workings of it, like all the paperwork you have to do, and it was overwhelming. I mean, it came to a time where I was just like, man, I can't do this. Like, this is, it was so much that it was really changing my attitude on a lot of things, and it took me a little while to really figure out that I needed to do one thing. I needed to focus on one goal, something that I've always wanted to do, and something that would help me become an entrepreneur, and something that was accessible to me at the time. And to me, at the time, it was internet marketing. I knew a couple people that were doing it, that were just starting out, and I knew they could maybe guide me a little bit in the beginning. And I started with that, and I really started focusing on one thing. And this goes back to what I'm going to say is that you really have to have clarity in what you want to do. It's funny, I was actually reading this the other day. They were talking about guidance missile systems, and there was a guy by the name of Dr. Norbert, and he was like the pioneer of guidance systems for missiles when they were first starting out. And he was saying that he was having a lot of problems because he couldn't get them to work correctly and hit their target, and he actually figured out that he had to have a negative feedback system and a positive feedback system to kind of go all in one together, kind of work to make the missile hit its goal target. And the way that he figured it out is that he needed a negative feedback system to tell the missile when it went off course, and they would needed a positive one to tell him, to tell the missile that it was going in the right course. And they kind of worked in conjunction with each other to guide the missile in the right direction. And he said that the brain works in the same principles, that when you're learning something new, you have these negative systems and positive systems that kind of work hand in hand to program your brain to learn that specific skill. And he was saying that as you go through life, your brain works in the same way. And he gives the example of a 8-month-old. When you put a ball in front of him, and you tell him, hey, come get the ball. He's kind of like stumbling, trying to get the ball, and he's just like, then he touches, doesn't really know what to do with it. But then, like, over time, you learn the skill of grabbing things. I mean, you look at yourself now, and you don't even think about these things. Like, you don't even think about, when you go to grab something, you don't say, okay, well, I need to put my hand in this angle, and then grab this, and then go to this speed, and then it doesn't it doesn't happen that way. It's already learned. You do it so much. You use it every single day. You do it on a consistent basis that you become so good at it that you don't even think about it. But you have to remember that back when you were 8-month-old, you were struggling with that. You were struggling on the skill on how to grab things, and you can put that to anything, like learning a sport, learning how to play an instrument, learning a new skill, like learning a new business. Like it all kind of goes back to that. But in order to really like become good at something, you have to just do it over and over again. You have to repetition or every single day, and you have to keep doing it over and over. But you have to remember that there's negative things that are going to happen. You're going to have, hit roadblocks. You're going to get to a point where you're just like, man, you feel like you're not getting anywhere. But that's just your brain, without you even knowing, is picking up all that information and storing it, just so you, and it's going to help you make better decisions to achieve your actual goal. So I guess my main thing is that you really just have to focus on one thing, and that was my problem. Back in the day, I was doing all these things at once, and it was just information overload. Like my brain was picking up all this information, but just like a computer, when you click on all these different programs in one time, it slows down the computer and doesn't work as well. So your brain is in the same kind of, it works in the same kind of way, because you're trying to do all these things at once and you're not really picking anything up. So the real moral of the story is that if you can learn how to walk, you can learn how to be successful. I really do believe in that. I believe that everybody is born with the same mental capacity. If there is certain instances where people have disabilities and things like that, that's a whole different ballpark. But even that, everybody, if you can learn how to walk, you can learn how to do anything. It's just you have to really be focused on it. You have to have clarity, and that's the biggest thing, is that we get so distracted. And I'm like the perfect example, because I'm a multitasker. Like I love to do 3-4 things at once, and it's just not it was really hard for me to learn how to focus on one thing and do that, just do that every single time. If you're doing specific tasks, you have to just focus on that one thing. When you're done with that task, you move to something else and you do it, and you just do that thing over and over again until you reach your actual goal. And you have to be very clear as what you want to do, what do you want to achieve, and to always have that in your head. Things are gonna get hard. Sometimes you have to learn things. It sucks having to learn something from scratch and having to apply everything. And it's just it's a struggle. But once you get good at it, your success you become so efficient with it that it's just everything starts to kind of speed up, and you reach your success even faster. But in the beginning, everything seems very slow, because you're learning everything at once. But you have to stick with it. Most people don't. That's what separates everybody, is that most people will try one thing and it seems hard and they just automatically just stop. This is too hard, let me try something else. And I've been through that. So I just want to leave you guys with that, and keep growing yourself. Subscribe below, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.